Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Midweek Motivation
I hope you're motivated today.
with me, Pastor Anthony, and also my faithful co-host,
Keep going.
wonderful, perfect wife, Angelica
Oh, I don't know about perfect, but thank you.
Sanchez. And we thank you. Welcome into our home this afternoon.
Yes.
And it's our pleasure again to be able to spend the next few moments with you here today, hopefully and prayerfully. Give you some of that midweek Wednesday motivation today, and the topic that we're going to be talking about here today is leadership, and what a crisis demands from a leader. And so we have some thoughts we put together here today to help you, give you some tools that may help you not only with your personal life, not only with your ministry life, but even beyond the church walls. These things you could also apply to your job. And other, facets of your life, if you will. And so we're excited about that. I don't know if we'll get through them today, but we're going to do our best to do that. But we do have some exciting things coming up, right around the corner. And so maybe you could share with us some of those things.
Yeah, so maybe as you're there, take time to put an emoji up. Let us know that you are watching today. We'd like to give you a shout out. And yeah.
Yeah, and also, if we see a question there, if we have some time, we want to maybe, if you have a leadership question or anything like that, we'll do our best to answer it if we see it there and if we have some time. So go ahead and anytime during the lesson or during the day, go ahead and fill it out there. Yeah,
so we know we've been hearing it, that in September we are going midweek Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Our Friday night service is now going to become our Wednesday night service, and I'm excited, and I love what you've been saying to everybody. It's, Fridays are not going to just be a free day, but we want to be able to spend time with family. We want to be able to spend time with friends, disciples,
and also fellowship.
We want to fellowship, and so we keep saying it over and over because we're just trying to get it ingrained. We want to get the word out, and if you're excited for that, I want you to go ahead and put a thumbs up emoji there for me.
Yeah, so September 2nd will be our very first Wednesday night online service, and so we want you to get excited about it. It's going to be a powerful time within Victory Outreach Fremont, and we'll explain more of the what's, the whens, and the whys about that as we get closer, but we're just dropping the seed right now.
Yes. Also, in August, all Sunday nights in August, we'll be at the Newark Pavilion, and every Sunday night at 6:30, we're gonna start off with the worship experience.
There you go.
So our worship team, our music ministry, and even a guest or two, they're gonna sing. We're gonna worship. I mean, just being at Pastor Jose's church on Sunday.
Oh my God, what a powerful time, right?
Yes, being outside, being able to worship, with all that, man, you just felt the presence of God.
And I guess you don't realize how much you miss it.
Yeah.
Until you're actually there. And we were in that tent. It seats about 800 people in the tent, but obviously with social distancing and all that, there wasn't, room for 800 people. But just with the few hundred people that were there, that showed up that day and gathering and corporately worshiping, I'm telling you right now, man, it just reminds us of how, man, it feels and how it felt. Don't get me wrong, worshiping from our home and doing what we do is, obviously.
Well, even that's hard for me because I'm like, I want to get up.
Yeah, you want to get free, right? You want to break free sometimes, and it's not always, we're not always able to. But that's why these Sunday nights we're bringing them through a drive-through service, so people are going to drive in with their cars, social, obviously masks and all that stuff. But one of the main things I don't want you to lose focus of, because the enemy would love to come and distract us, but just come with your heart ready, come with your hands lifted, and come, with your mask and your sanitation and your social distancing. But that should not mean anything other than we want to be able to worship and gather together.
Yeah.
And so again, that's what those August nights are for.
Yeah.
And we got
and we
so
have
many
some
other
of our
things.
worship team on here.
Oh,
Music
we do.
Ministry. We
Come
got
on.
Paloma. I see Paloma there. I see Mario. What's up, Mario? Lila. And so it's going to be a beautiful, even Jessica, our women's home director. Not only does she help sing here, but do you know that she leads along with the women's home for NorCal Victory Homes.
Come on. So she
has a guitar.
She's international.
Yeah.
Jessica Lopez is international.
So we
Shout
love
out.
you guys. But also, we'll be having a comedian. We'll be having a family night. This is one of my favorites with Pastor Roy De La Garza. He brings puppets. He ministers. He has a gifting of prophetic words. Right. And so I believe God's going to... How many of our children need hope and encouragement, too?
That's absolutely right.
You know, sometimes I think even us as parents, because we are being able to conquer and we're, able to get our emotions in order.
Right.
Sometimes we don't think about our children.
Sure.
One wants to play sports. He can't play sports yet.
Yeah.
One wants to do this and that. And so it would be good for the kids to be ministered to as well.
It's going to be a great outlet for the entire family.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not able to go out like we used to, even as a family. Well, these August summer nights, August nights are going to be geared towards us, not just for us, but our entire family. We have something for everyone every night in August, so we'd love to see you there.
Yes, and also bringing in a skateboard crew. They're going to be setting up ramps, and so that's reaching this younger generation.
Yeah, the skateboarders. And these guys are all saved. They're going to be testifying. They're going to be letting us know, how they got saved and what God is doing in their life while skateboarding on ramps.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be the grand finale at the end of August. So.
Yes, and so, there's going to be great things, and so I'm super excited. Keep it in prayer. Remember, once again, our reasoning is, yes, to come together, but souls, because souls are still lost. Drug addicts are still getting high. Yep. Alcoholics are still, drinking the bottle. Yeah. And families are still broken. And so let's always keep that in mind why we do what we do.
Definitely, because even when we met last time, it's been around, feels like over a month ago, we met for a Sunday night there. We just wanted to fill it out. And it was amazing that people just were driving by on their bikes. They were driving. Some people heard there was a family from Brazil. Can you believe that? They just moved here before all this quarantine happened, and they kind of made it through, and they were hearing it. They were outside, and they heard some kind of praise and worship. And so they all got in the car. Two families got in one car, brought their kids and came down, and they were so blessed to know, because they're believers, they're Christians, and they said that it was a godsend for us to be there. And so ever since then, we've been connected with them. We follow each other on social media, but not only that, is our newcomer team is connected with them. And so again, shout out to that family from Brazil, and they're also going to be there. So again, point is souls.
Yeah.
You never know who, what, or when, or anybody that's going to come walking through there. And we as a church, we need to be ready for them.
Yeah, that's powerful.
We need to be ready for them. Can I quote something from Rick Warren that I just read today from our Purpose Driven Life book?
Any life group leaders or attendees out there?
Yeah, so I was reading the Purpose Driven Life book here today, and it said that you never know who God has as future believers, like babies that he wants to birth.
Wow.
So as he wants to birth babies, in other words, new converts, what he does is he looks for a church. He calls it a church incubator that will be warm enough to birth these children.
Wow.
Is that pretty powerful? So hopefully and prayerfully in August, Victory Outreach Fremont will be that incubator, or that womb that he can use to birth souls out of. And so that's powerful.
Yeah, and then speaking of souls, we know that every year we do Run for Hope, and it's one of my favorite.
Her favorite competitions. Favorite events of the year.
Because we get to raise money to win souls,
we sure do.
And so we know that everything that is raised, it goes into being able to plant churches. We know we plant churches in Panama, Guadalajara, other places, Europe, and just different things that, the ministry has been able to do through Run for Hope. And right now, I believe they're going to go ahead and put the QR code up. And you might be here today and haven't had a chance to register. What I want you to do is get your phone out. You guys know how to do this.
Yeah.
Get your phone out, scan it, and not only register, but sponsor yourself and get on the map, okay? Should I say it? We know that the women are winning.
Oh, well, you're going to say it anyway.
Women, hearts of fire. Can I get an emoji with a heart and a fire?
Here we go. Now, my baseball coach, football coach, always taught me something in sports, and they said never celebrate too early. Never celebrate too early because you never know. Don't take your eye off your opponent.
Yeah.
Even when you bow.
Well, I've heard from a great boxing coach. I can't quote his name, but it says the first thing you do is you get in the head. And once you get in their head, you already won.
Actually, that great coach was me. I told you that last week. Yeah. But you can see that the competition is there. It's fierce. It's real. But at the end of the day, we do this to kind of challenge each other so that we can raise money for world evangelism. One of our very own, Chucky Lopez and Chica Lopez and their family are there in South Africa, and they're out there in the field. Even Nana, one of the girls from our church, is there in the UTC, and so we have people that are out there. So what better way for Victory Outreach Fremont to get behind it than to know that we're actually not only talking about it, but we're actually moving
being about it.
We're being about it. Yeah. So. Again, get involved, register yourself. Let's do our best to honor and glorify God during this time.
Yes, and then one more announcement, and then I am done. But just a reminder, this Sunday night at 6 p.m., we'll be having our regional, our multi-regional Pastor Tim Arganzoni. We know that a couple weeks ago, right, we had a multi-regional. Right. It was powerful. I'm telling you, the women that were here in our house. Yeah. We were, speaking in tongues. Wow. We all made that altar call. It was powerful. Yeah. And so he'll be with us here again this Sunday night on our YouTube and Facebook channel. So help spread the word. Yeah,
it's going to be a powerful time. And so again, this Sunday, 6:00. Bay Area Regional Service, 11 churches will be gathering together through our social network platforms. Yes. And Pastor Tim, right here from my living room, actually right here where I'm sitting, he's going to be preaching to us in a different way, but I believe the word he has is going to challenge us, and it's going to give you a breakthrough of your life. Yes. And so today I said and mentioned earlier that we wanted to talk about leadership. And so I know many of you are chiming in here on the chat, if you will. And so, lean in, pay attention. We're going to talk about what crisis demands from a leader, a leadership team, or even you as an individual, because you don't have to have a title to lead. You don't have to have, a doctorate. You don't have to have letters before your name and a plaque on your wall to become a leader. And you said something earlier that was pretty powerful.
Well, yeah, I could say we're born leaders because we have to lead ourselves. Yeah. And they say that leading ourselves is we're the hardest people to lead.
My God.
Is ourselves. And so in saying that, we're all leaders because we have to lead ourselves.
Yeah, at least you're leading yourself, right? Yes. So that qualifies you.
Yes.
Right then and there. But one thing that we've noticed, and we've been sharing with our church leaders and everyone we come in contact with, is that leading during this time of COVID-19 is obviously way different than leading pre-COVID-19. And as I began to think about it, and as I began to research, and I began to hear, leaders that are out there, that they said that, one of the things that we can do during this time, or that I should say that crisis demands from leaders, is number one, if you're taking notes, or you could even ask a question here today, is crisis demands creativity from leaders.
I like to say even problems create,
exactly,
creativity.
Right. So crisis, problems have forced us.
Like, let's say, for example, you go in your fridge, there's only this and there's only that. Yeah. Kids are hungry. What are you going to do, Mama? You're going to make something out of that nothing.
You're going to get creative.
Problems
right?
create creativity.
There you go. Powerful, right? And so that's what crisis does also for us, is what I've discovered is I've been able to learn more with less. I've learned so much with less.
Or through trials.
Yeah. And so we're building as we go. We're building the airplane as we go. But we've really been, this show, Midweek Motivation, was birthed out of a crisis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to connect with the people. you were praying, we were brainstorming, and you said, you know what, let's do something. And all of a sudden, bam, it hit us.
And then 5 minutes before, I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, so
I don't want to do it.
Every week. Every week. But we're dedicated to this. We're committed to this thing because we know it was the Lord that put that creativity in you. And then we shared it and we said, you know what, we're going to step out. You know, we're going to step out and we're going to do it. Creativity.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know, how we've done things before will not necessarily work right now. We met with beautiful bunch of life group leaders yesterday. Yeah. We had them at our house. Shout out to the Victory Outreach life group leaders that have been plowing away from day one. Well, we had a privilege of meeting with them yesterday, and we were envisioning them, and we were sharing our hearts with them. And one of the things we all came to an agreement with is, you know what, we life groups are a lot different. Obviously, we're Zooming now. You know, some very few are meeting in person. But even to train life group leaders right now, how do you train them, right? What do you do? Yeah. What do you say to them? You know, so we got to get creative. Yeah. We're all getting creative. I guess
and
that's
God's
the point.
giving us that creativity.
He's giving us
even for life groups, like we've always believed in them and we've always done them. But now more than ever that we're in this crisis, it's like, okay, we have them, but we got to keep growing. We got to create more ways for our life groups to be on the forefront, which we're getting there.
Right.
So,
yeah. And so even married couples that are out there, you know, date night doesn't look the same anymore. So you have to get creative, right? Family outings definitely do not look the same anymore. Yeah. You got to get creative, right? So creative. This crisis has caused all of us to have to get creative. Yes. Okay. Another thing that crisis demands from leadership is it demands flexibility. My God. Flexibility. That is a powerful outlook, perspective here today when you think about it, because we've all been forced to become flexible. Yeah. Right? No one likes to be told what to do. You can't go out. You got to wear a mask. Social distance. Right? We all like to do what we like to do. I was in the grocery store today. I was literally in the store shopping for 10 minutes without a mask. Oh. Is that crazy?
Because you forgot.
I forgot. Yeah, I wasn't being a rebel. I literally forgot. And a worker came up, and I seen all kinds of people, you know, and nobody mask shamed me. They weren't like, you know, looking at me mean and rude, you know. But one worker, you know, came up. She goes, "Sir," she was real humble. "You got to wear your mask." I go, "Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't have my mask." I had to be flexible. I had to go ditch my cart, run outside.
Instead of running the coworker, you know,
instead of getting offended and started getting all mad, I said, "You know what? You're absolutely right. I literally forgot." Yeah. So flexibility, right? Flexibility.
Well, I think too, as if I could maybe talk to the parents right now, the flexibility of understanding and realizing and coming to a conclusion that it doesn't look like the kids are going back in August or September like they usually do. It looks like more like January, February, if even that. And so as parents, we have to come together and be able to be flexible with that. We could complain all we want.
Right.
We could yell at the news and we could yell at the congressman all we want. That's not going to change the issue.
Right.
But being able to accept what we cannot change, receive it, ask God for peace, and prepare a plan. But we're being flexible.
Right. You know? There's a word called fluidity. Fluidity is...
Say that 10 times.
Fluidity, I better not. Fluidity, and simply, you know what that means? It means just going with the flow. I'm just going with the flow. As hard as that is, I'm going with the flow.
Flow, sister, flow.
Just going with the flow, man, right? If you haven't noticed, you cannot control a lot right now. Yeah. You cannot control a lot. Boy, are we trying, though, aren't we? We're trying to control everything, what we can. No. And what I've discovered, when you start trying to control everything, things you cannot control, you just made mention of that, you end up frustrated, you end up angry, you end up negative, you end up bitter, you end up with a bad day. Yeah. You end up, you know, with all these, there's nothing positive could come out of somebody that's rigid right now. Now is not the time to be rigid. Yeah. In everything that we do.
We could go shopping one day. We can't go shopping the next.
Oh, my God.
We could do this. We can't do that.
Right.
You know, and yeah, it bothers us. But once again, just being able to be flexible.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's what crisis demands from us right now. Crisis demands flexibility. It also demands inspirational leadership right now. Inspirational leadership. Get that. Wrap your mind around it. Write it down 10 times. Say it 10 times. But the world needs inspirational leadership right now.
You could even say positive
leadership, right?
Yeah,
right?
positive.
Things are bad, but as a leader, I got to believe that they're going to get better.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to come out of me. It's got to be a second nature to me. Now, that does not mean that we're not in tune with everything that's going on. That does not mean we're like living in some false, imaginary world where, people are not literally getting sick and passing away. And, we're not living numb to the needs. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is people are looking to leadership right now. And as people are looking to leadership, what are they seeing? Right? What are they seeing? What are they noticing? What are we saying? Yeah. And so I think it's important.
So maybe you could share a few traits of maybe somebody that's not being an inspirational leader. Things maybe in ourselves that we could look at.
Wow, that's a very good question. I think you have to know that when things are happening around you, what is your first knee-jerk reaction to it? I think sometimes we have to be careful with that, because without realizing it, remember, we're not in a season that we were at the beginning of the year.
Right.
The beginning of the year was 2020, the year of clear vision. Things are going to happen.
Can you see now?
This is my year, right?
Hey, but if you really think about it in the spirit,
Yeah.
God has literally
for sure.
cleared our
for sure.
scaled eyes
Yeah.
of what Christianity
For sure.
was and is.
Yeah, definitely. What do they do when you go to the doctor? Sometimes they put those things in your eye. I forget what they call them. But you come out after, and people can't see
Oh,
for a
yeah.
minute. But
Dilation?
yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that.
that. But then after, you're able to see more clear, right?
Yeah.
So it almost feels like we're in that season. But I think just really examining your heart. I guess that's all I can say with that, is examining your heart and really, seeing, am I being inspirational right now? Or am I not so inspiring right now?
Right.
I'm not trying to pretend everything is okay when it's not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not, saying any of that. But I'm saying at the end of the day, know that your kids are watching you. Know that your husband and your wife, they're watching you. Know that there's disciples that are watching you.
Right.
Know that there's coworkers that are watching you. Know that they know you go to church. All that. That's what I'm saying, is we got to inspire people, and things like that.
Yeah. Good.
And then let me just say this: it's a time to build people up. It's not a time to be tearing people down.
Yeah.
And I think we need to take that to heart today. We need to take that to heart.
We could say that we've all been able, we're either growing, we either need to grow in it, or we're just, but for sure, people need encouragement. They need positivity. They need, like you said, inspiration.
Well, people need right now somebody that's going to say, I believe in you.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
You're hitting
I'm
me.
hitting her, see?
So passionate.
Because I mean it. I believe in you.
Yeah.
How about this one? You can do it. I know you can do it. See, that's an inspirational leader.
Yeah.
If when someone tells me that, no, you got this. No, I believe in you. Oh, no. And they speak life into me like that, I'm going to tell you right now, it makes me sit up in my seat. It makes me put my shoulders back. It makes me start, thinking different. I start thinking of the possibilities instead of all the negativities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. Inspirational leaders right now, that's how they're talking. That's how they're speaking. That's what they're saying. That's how they're acting. They're keeping it moving forward with positivity. But this is actually our next point: transparency. See, because we're not pretending everything is not okay. We know things are not okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, crisis also demands transparency. What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when you hear that?
I think what comes to my mind is being able to be transparent of, we do feel fear. We do have uncertainties. We do worry. We do ask, okay, God, where are you in this? And being able to share that with others, and being able to express what you're feeling, and
there you go.
You know.
And being sensitive to that, you know, so you feel one way, I feel that one way. It's fine, you know, it's okay. Transparency is also, excuse me, is also being honest.
Yeah.
Right, with how I feel.
Well, I think too, since we're talking about leadership, you know, us as leaders, they say that the cream of the crop always rises to the top. Leadership rises. You've been rising. You're rising. But even in rising, you get tired.
There you go.
You know, so.
Yeah, the burden gets heavy.
Yeah.
You get exhausted.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think for you as a leader, you being able to say, look, you know, I'm tired. Do you mind if I take a weekend out? Do you mind if I do this and that? And being able to be transparent instead of going, and then you're in ministry, you're exhausted, you're tired, and then break down, then and then there's so many side effects to that. But being able to be transparent, like, hey, I'm a little tired right now. I'm drained. I'm going through warfare, you know, whatever it is.
Right. That's absolutely. And, you know, I think that's transparency.
Yeah.
That's inspirational leadership. And that's the season that we're in, you know.
And then being the leader, being able to say, okay, I understand you, and being able to
be sensitive to that.
To be sensitive without judgment, like, you know, actually excited. Like there's a few leaders that have been saying, hey, can we do this? Yes, please. Yeah. You know, please take a night out. Please. They've been in the trenches with us day in and day out. And so we're actually happy when they ask, you know. Yeah.
And both sides. Both sides being transparent, and sometimes it's the timing and all those logistics. But I love that is what this crisis is demanding right now. It's demanding us to be like that. It's demanding transparency. It's demanding honesty. It's demanding being honest with your feelings, because you know what happens when you admit you're weak or you're tired? You know what it makes you? It makes you human. It makes you human, all you Superman and Superwomen out there, right? And we're so used to being strong. You mentioned it, being strong for everybody, carrying the world on my shoulders. I gotta, you know, do this, and I gotta make.
That's unbiblical. Very unbiblical.
Okay, say it.
Well, we know that God says to carry our burdens unto Him. And one time I heard it this way, and it broke, you know, and it broke me open my eyes. Is sometimes they're even too heavy that God is saying, just roll it to me. So you could even just roll your burdens to God.
Right, when they're too heavy.
And let Him carry you.
Yeah, you know, because what happens is some of them are too heavy, so you could roll it, but then also, you know, there are things that God wants to handle, and then there's things we could handle. Yeah. That's where the discernment comes in, but He doesn't want you handling everything. No. Right? But then He also wants us taking responsibility for what we can do. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so transparency is a heavy thing. It's a heavy thing. And
I think why people struggle, and I could say it for myself too, is not because our leaders are we think of what our leaders might think. In a sense, like, oh man, I'm facing this, or my marriage, or this and that, and man, what are they gonna think? Are they gonna think I don't have it together? But honestly, leaders really don't think like that.
No, they don't. You know,
they want the best for us. Right. It's not so much that they expect us to be perfect. No. But I think when we come to them, that allows them a door into our lives. That allows a door for them to speak into our lives. And lead us.
Well, because you're talking about humility, and that didn't make the list right now, but it's definitely on the list.
Wow, that's
good. It's humility, because it takes a humble person to come and say, Pastor, leader, whoever you are, this is the area here, whatever it may be. Yeah. You know, and it's a humble posture. It's not a proud posture, but it's a humble posture. And then that's where leaders say, okay, I could work with that. See, I could work with that because now you're at a place where moldable, you're open. Yeah. You know, I'm able to speak now into your life, and we're able to kind of reset. Yeah. Right? Because everyone needs a reset right now. This is a reset season for everybody. And
then if we're not careful, trying to portray a perfectness about us.
Sure. Yeah.
People read into that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and people can say, okay, this person's not open, so it's going to be hard to speak. Yeah. Into that person.
Exactly. Transparency. And so that's what this season is crying out for. We got a lot more guys, and we'll talk about them next week. I think we'll finish them up. How many want us to finish them up. I think we have to finish them up, right? This has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a great conversation because this is what crisis demands out of all of us. Title, non-title, mom, dad, you're leading yourself, young adult, high school, even junior high, Christian, non-Christian. These things do not have a religious tone to them if you think about it, but they just kind of cross the board of life. And so we appreciate you spending these last few minutes with us.
Yeah, what I want you to do too is once you get off, if you're on Facebook or even on YouTube, I want you to share this.
Yeah.
I want you to share this on your social media, and I want you to get the word out. And so that's how you help us today.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And so we'll see you Friday night, right back here at 7:30, and then also Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. And we miss you guys, and we look forward to seeing you here. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
God bless.